The University of Toronto prides itself on the fact that its students are engaging in technological and social innovations that solves real-life problems, and the curriculums that encourage students to engage in advocacy projects. These projects can be small, like asking a department to add a night session for the required course, or it can be big, like tackling racism on campus. However, it is hard to gather information on the students' advocacy efforts and track the real impact our students are making in society, because these projects tend to have their own social media handles and websites, and they often appear as standalone initiatives. It's so common for students to start a new advocacy project from scratch when facing a social problem, instead of supporting the existing ones, because they simply don't know of any previous effort done by their colleagues. As a result, student advocacy projects usually lack a momentum, and the demands raised are often forgotten as time goes by. To resolve this issue, make information on student advocacy efforts more accessible, and track the unmet demands, we are proposing the Student Advocacy Showcase database within the University of Toronto that collects and presents the information on UFT student-led advocacy projects. The information about each advocacy project will be organized to include and will be searchable by project details and website, contact information, the problem they are trying to address, the demands raised and which of them are still unmet, as well as the main organization or department responsible for addressing these demands. By creating this database, we want to achieve the following goals. 1. Showcase the advocacy efforts and outcome of UFT students. 2. Help projects to gain public attention and assess potential supporters and collaborators. 3. Help the project leaders and responsible organizations to track the unmet demands. To run this project, we need to 1. Create a database that is accessible to the general public. 2. Get a hold of student leaders and have their permission to showcase their projects. 3. Connect with different community partners to gain public attention for our database and the advocacy projects. 4. Regularly communicating with student leaders and/or the responsible organizations to update the unmet demands. In order for this innovation to be successful, there are 3 key elements. 1. Staff or volunteers. 2. Potential collaborators. And 3. Funding. We need staff or volunteers to build and update the database, as well as outreaching to different collaborators and maintain the relationship. Since this database is also a student-led initiative focusing on UFT student affairs, we can recruit staff or volunteers from the student population, especially those who are in related study programs and need extracurricular experience. For potential collaborators, we plan to reach out to different student unions, associations, and clubs, since they are most likely the ones being contacted for support by student-led advocacy projects. Through them, we can connect with student leaders and advertise our database within the student population. Moreover, we also plan to collaborate with different faculty's communication offices, since they will be interested in using our information to showcase the work done by their students as well. Lastly, we need funding to create and maintain the database, as well as potentially pay for the students who are involved in the innovation. There are multiple fundings that exist within the University of Toronto that's specifically for supporting student-led initiatives, and we plan to start our application there. In order to know whether we are actually achieving our goals, we will also track the following data during this innovation. 1. The number of users who access our database. 2. The increasing number of supporters and/or collaborators of the projects being showcased. And 3. The increasing number of demands being met after being showcased on our database. Long-term speaking, we hope to see that student-led advocacies can be more sustainable and can attract more public attention, so that not only when students facing similar problems, they know where to find existing advocacy and support it, but the responsible organization can also track how many demands that they still haven't addressed. Through the Student Advocacy Showcase database, we are disrupting the traditional way to present and search for information about student-led advocacies and making the information easily accessible for everyone.
Created using Powtoon.